What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and in this video we're going to talk all about inspiration. So this video is kind of in collaboration with someone I met at Gender Odyssey named Mika. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So Mika has a blog, and this, like, the next little section of their blog is like a featured voices section of their blog. It's kind of like all about inspiration, and so like how do people who are seen as inspirational, like where do they find their inspiration? So I like this. I thought it was cool. I feel like, you know, no matter who's who, you have somebody who has inspired you. So I made a little list of people who've inspired me. You can't see it though because the ink has like run out, but I swear that there's things on this piece of paper. And yeah, I wanted to touch base, just like a few people who have truly inspired me, and they're really everyday people. They're not really famous people or anything like that. So what I did do is I tried to pick a few famous people just to kind of maybe then other people can maybe look them up and find their own inspiration from them. Maybe not. But honestly, my first thought when I was thinking about like who inspires me was actually my wife, Jenny Lee. And this is because when I first met Jenny Lee, I was not surrounding myself with people who really valued me, and I kept giving of myself and not necessarily receiving things as thanks for giving of myself so much, my time, everything, right? And she really instilled in me this concept that I deserve to be like appreciated and respected, and not in like a really, she came at it in like not like a cocky like, oh, you deserve to be respected, like not even in that way, just more of like, listen, like we're all human beings and we all deserve respect and love, and we should all be in relationships that are two ways, and we should be able to give knowing that we can receive, and we should also be able to receive knowing that we can give, okay? And I really, you know, this was when I first met her like 7-8 years ago, and she really instilled this in me, this little spark that really made me think like, holy shit, like I kind of do deserve to be heard. Like you know, like I'm not saying that I have the best voice and the best opinion out of everyone, but if everybody around the table is voicing their opinion, why do I always feel like mine is not valued or shouldn't be valued? And so she really made me realize and have to look inside myself, why do I not feel heard? And what steps can I take personally to make my voice be heard? And, you know, even on this channel, you can see how that has happened. Then I also have on here, All My Children. So All My Children is soap opera. And how did this soap opera inspire me? This soap opera inspired me because it had the first ever lesbian kiss on daytime TV, and it had the first ever, I'm pretty sure, lesbian couple on daytime TV, or really like any TV, really. And this was way back. I wasn't even graduated high school yet, so it was more than 12 years ago. Yeah, I mean, they just had these two really femme lesbian couple on there, and it just showed me that like you could be a lesbian. I know that it sounds weird, but like it inspired me to feel like, holy shit, like if these people can kiss on TV and like they can have lesbian storylines, then like I could totally be a lesbian. I could totally handle that. You know, kind of like inspired me in that small little sense of the word, you know? It is what I put. It showed me that two young women can fall in love and be in love, you know? And I think that's what I was looking for at that time. I didn't feel like, you know, I could do that it was an option for me. And so this show, like this soap opera, showed me that. Also, you know, Harvey Milk is another person who inspired me. And I didn't really know about Harvey Milk until a little later in my lifetime. And I read, not his whole book, but I read like parts of his biography. And I watched the movie, and I've read articles and seen like live footage and stuff. And he really inspired me in the sense that like, it was a really pivotal point in my life when I learned about him, because I just come out as transgender. I mean, like, I've heard of him, you know, like everyone had heard of him, but I didn't really know why I should know of this guy, right? I pretty much, like, I knew of the Castro, and I knew all about him, but you don't, like, know about them, right? Like, everyone knows Martin Luther King, but people don't know about Martin Luther King, right? So it was like learning not just what you hear, but actually learning about what they've said in their life and what they've gone through. So when I learned about that from Harvey Milk, it really inspired me to know that, like, things don't have to, like, always work out the first try. I mean, this man was a grown-ass man before he found what he was supposed to do in life. And I think that reminds me that, like, even though, you know, at moments I feel like, yeah, this is, you know, I found what I'm supposed to do, and then other moments I feel like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. And then, you know, it reminded me that I could always, like, maybe I don't know, because maybe I'm not supposed to know till I'm 53, or until I'm 33, or, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I don't know because my time to do the thing that I'm going to make a big impact on the world, like, maybe that hasn't come yet. And so that, like, his story, Harvey Milk's story, always reminds me that I could, like, my opportunities are coming, and that you never know when it's gonna come. So don't give up. If you're 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, like, don't give up, because you're still alive, you're still here, and you still have a mission in life, if you know what I mean? So I like that about Harvey Milk. It's kind of cool. Like, he was an older man who really didn't believe in himself, then found the courage, got support, and realized that, like, he played a role even though it was so much later in his lifetime. So I think that's kind of cool. Then so, like, I tried to pick some people. So I did try to pick, like, you know, someone close to me, someone that everyone knew, kind of a funny one, the All My Children story. The TPOC movement, the transgender people of color movement that's going on right now, and just, like, the Black Lives movement, everything about that, and just you know, even like anything that has to do with, like, feminism and, like, women's rights and, like, black rights and like, really radical changes in, like, the way that our systems are structured right now, because the structure is not good. And I don't believe that all the people are bad, but I do think that there's too many loopholes to let people who have agendas into positions of power. So I'm really, like, proactive about trying to be part of the Black Lives movement without, like, overshadowing or trying to take up space in, you know, in a movement that I'm supposed to be supporting, and not necessarily like other, like, trans people of color and people of color should be holding those flags, and I'm behind them and I'm rooting them on, and if their arm gets tired, I'll hold it up for them, you know what I mean? But I'm not trying to take any movement or any place that I'm really not supposed to be taking up right now. So in this effort, right, like, I'm white, and so how am I gonna know my black, like, how it is to be black in America, except for if I read articles, I talk to my friends that are people of color, and I follow people of color. So I follow a lot of activists, a lot of trans activists too, but, like, two of my favorite trans activists of color are Teak Milan and Sean Simpson, and they're very different in their activism, and you know, obviously I like them for different reasons, but they both share a commonality too, and that's just the concept that, like, you redefining, like, masculinity in that sense, right? And so Teak Milan is really heavy on that, redefining masculinity, and I, you know, if you've watched his videos, you know that I'm really passionate about that too, and so I really love his insights, especially coming from a black perspective in America, and also being transgender, and, you know, we share that commonality where he's married to a cis woman, so am I, so, like, there's a lot of things that I find in common with him, and then there's things that I don't know about a lifestyle that I will never be able to lead, just, you know, and, you know, in a lot of senses that's a privilege, but whatever. The point is that I follow him because he lets me in on a lot of insight that I would not know about, and he does it in a really powerful and strong, masculine, and black power affirming way, but he doesn't make it so that me being, like, a wanting to learn and be educated white American, like, would be, like, scared to show up or something, you know what I mean? So I really love that. I love the fact that I can get education and learning from him. And then also Sean Stinson is like a bodybuilder. He's been FTM FitCon the last 2 years. I've actually like become good friends with this guy, and he's really cool in the sense that like another aspect of, you know, being black in America, but really just the concept of the military aspect too I like about him. He went and got his transition and got his top surgery like before he even knew what it was. This was like years and years, like over a decade ago, like 10, maybe 15 years ago. I don't know for sure, don't quote me. You know, just that concept that like he went through all these things before anybody was saying anything about it. He was in the military, and now, yes, he's come out now that he has like some support and stuff, but it's just the concept that like, again, like it doesn't matter if he came out before or after transition. Like just the fact that he puts out there for other young aspiring military people, and just in general for anybody who came from like a really struggle, you know, like he did it, you know what I mean? Like he transitioned, he looks great, he's got a passion for training, and you know what I mean, like he's now finding his love for being a voice in the trans community. And you know, I just think that's awesome. I just think that there's a lot of growth opportunities for a lot of people, and when we don't give them chances to have their voice be heard or come out in whatever form that is, you know, not like out of the closet, but just like coming out to share their lived experience so that other people with similar experiences, or like me, like I don't have a close experience to him at all, but I find inspiration from him and through him. So those are like some more people like in the FTM specific community that I like to follow and inspire me. And then, you know, I know like the last like inspirational piece is a little, not to sound like generic, but I really am inspired by like the emails that I get and the people that I see like making big changes in their town. You know what I mean? Like the people who run all these town groups, the people who run like the LGBT groups in high schools, the GSAs, all the mothers and fathers part of GLAAD, and like all the mothers and fathers of PFLAG, my bad, and all the members of GLAAD, and like, you know, all these organizations that have hundreds and thousands of people that are not on the covers of magazines, and they're not getting articles on BuzzFeed, and they're not getting TV shows, and they're not getting features on, you know, the news, you know, but these are people who are putting work in every single day, and they're the true reason that our, you know, our community has progressed in any way, shape, or form. So I always try to remember those people too, that like everybody's doing different, and it doesn't matter if you hosted one event or 100 events, or if you're on the cover of a magazine, or you make your local newspaper. Like all those things, they all matter, and in my eyes they're all equal to one another, because we're all helping the movement of the LGBT and, you know, specifically the transgender movement. And so I find inspiration through all of these people, through everybody, and these are literally just like a small little handful that I was like, how can I make a video that won't be like, you know, forever long? So yeah, these are just some people who inspire me. Check out the blog post, check out the other featured voices. They're gonna have their inspirations too, and leave a comment below, because myself, Mika, like people would like to know like who inspires you in the community, outside the community, trans, not trans, gay, not gay, anything, you know what I mean? Like who is your inspiration and why? Like why do they inspire you? What motivates you through that inspiration? Like what about them? Even if it has something to do with your actual lifestyle, right? Like the people I listed aren't necessarily exactly like me, no, but I can, even if we have nothing in common really except for being transgender or something, like I can find an inspiration through them because they're doing something that is like against the odds and like really being true to themselves. And I think that is what I always find inspiring, is when people face the fire and walk in with a smile on their face because they know that it might be hard but they'll get through. And also people who just like know that their time is valued and that their time should be respected, and that, you know, like they might not have the thing, but they know that it's valued. That's it. Those are what inspire me. Leave your inspirations below. And thanks, Mika, for having me be a part of this vlog. It was really fun making this video, and I look forward to seeing who inspires everyone else. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.